Life is a journey filled with doors that open and close. Often, we find ourselves in situations where we feel we have lost something valuable, but it is crucial to remember that destiny never opens a door without closing another. Each change, each loss, is a disguised opportunity. The people who truly need you will come into your life at the right moment, and those who truly care about you will not leave. This is a reminder that our connections are deep and meaningful. On the path of life, it is inevitable that we help others. However, it is important to keep in mind that, at some point, that person might blame you for their failures. This is not a reflection of your worth, but of their own internal struggle. No matter how many friends we have, we can always feel lonely if there is no one by our side whom we love. Loneliness can be overwhelming, but it is also an opportunity to get to know ourselves better. Somewhere in the world, there lived a wise man who taught his disciples about offenses. He told them that these can come in three ways. They can call you a fool, they can treat you like a slave, or they can say you have no talent. If you ever find yourself in such a situation, remember this simple truth: only a fool will call another fool, and only a slave will seek another slave. This teaching invites us to reflect on how we respond to criticism and offenses. Instead of letting ourselves be carried away by anger or sadness, we can choose understanding and compassion. Every person you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Therefore, always be kind. Kindness is a gift we can offer at no cost. When we start to notice the good in others, we often stop seeing and seeking the good in ourselves. This is a reminder that self-criticism can be destructive. If you feel tired, take a break. If you have been hurt, learn to respond with love and courage. Life is not always easy, but every challenge is an opportunity to grow. Remember that you are defined by two things: your patience when you have nothing, and your behavior when you have everything. The more you hold inside, the stronger the explosion will be when you reach your limit. Patience is a virtue that teaches us to wait for what truly matters. Instead of simply enduring difficulties, choose how to face them. You will always have to decide. You can do what you want and be happy, or do what others want and end up hating them and yourself. The choice is yours. If you don't know what to do, seek calm. If you can't find it, it's better not to make decisions. Always act from tranquility and peace. Those are the most accurate decisions. Calmness allows us to see things clearly and make choices that truly reflect our desires and values. Allow me to share a very nice story that helps us understand and value being kind to others. One day, a boy entered a cafe and sat at a table. A waitress approached him. "How much is the chocolate ice cream with nuts?" asked the boy. "-50 cents, the woman replied. The boy put his hand in his pocket and began to count the coins. Then he asked, "And how much is a plain ice cream, without anything?" There were already many customers waiting in the cafe, and the waitress began to show signs of impatience. "-25 cents, she replied in a not-so-kind tone. The boy counted his coins again and, after thinking for a moment, decided, "I want a plain ice cream." The waitress brought him the ice cream, dropped it on the table, and quickly left. The boy finished eating his ice cream, paid the bill at the register, and left. When the waitress returned to clean the table, she felt a lump in her throat upon seeing that, next to the empty plate, there was a small tray with 25-cent coins, his tips. This story reminds us that we should never judge a person without knowing the reasons behind their actions. Empathy is fundamental in our daily interactions. Don't cling to people, as they may leave, taking a part of your soul and heart with them, which can hurt. The presence of inspiration or stress in your life depends on whether you are valued or judged. If you understood the power of your thoughts, you would never have negative thoughts. In difficult moments, it is when a person shows their true self. Life is a reflection of our beliefs and attitudes. If we choose to see the good, we will attract the good. Remember that you cannot trust anyone. It is not necessary to give second chances or attract what does not exist, nor to imagine qualities that they do not have. If at first glance you think someone is a bad person, in most cases, you are not mistaken. There are no mistakes. The events that disrupt our lives, no matter how unpleasant they are necessary for us to learn what we need to learn. When we give up, we already know our fate. When we move forward, we deserve the right to choose our destiny. Consciousness is like this. It torments not those it should, but those who have it. What is said behind your back is your reputation. Even the best family can be destroyed if people do not know how to listen and communicate with each other. Our world is so cruel that we even fear falling in love, again expecting betrayal or lies. Sometimes, it is unclear why we must accept everyone as they are, while we do not do the same for ourselves. The heaviest burden we carry is the thoughts in our heads. Forget existence if it makes you weak and leads you to think of other possibilities. Just recognize that our imagination causes us more suffering than reality. If you consume more expensive and higher quality foods, it will cost you less, because you need less quantity of good products to feel satisfied, and the body has to eliminate fewer toxins after eating. This analogy can be applied to all aspects of life. Quality will always surpass quantity. On a rock, there is an inscription, and when the rich read it, they cry. When the poor read it, they rejoice. And when lovers read it, they begin to value every moment they spend together. The inscription says, "Everything in this life is temporary." Worry more about your conscience than your reputation, because your conscience is who you are, and your reputation is what others think of you. What they think of you is their problem. Unfortunately, the truth of life is that those who wait patiently will eventually receive something. But generally, it is what remains after those who did not wait have gone. The longer something is given time, the longer it is allowed to live. Human envy destroys everything in its path. A good wife teaches how to run a home, while a bad one strips it bare. This is probably the first skill of being a good housewife, to feed her husband and children and create a welcoming environment at home, where everything is clean and orderly. But can everyone do this? A good wife not only knows how to do it but also loves doing it. It is useless to explain to someone that you are not a camel if you are their only legitimate target to release their aggression. Even if everyone shows them that you are a normal and good person, they will not retract, otherwise, they would have to face their own shadow. Thus, they wonderfully avoid their issue by projecting it onto you and fighting it in your image. Even if it seems to you that nothing could be worse, something will always happen to show you how wrong you were. You cannot change what you refuse to face. When everything is going well, enjoy it. It will not last forever. And if everything is bad, do not get discouraged, because that too is not forever. If you do not value your time, others will not either. Others will never value your time if you do not value it yourself. You will never become the person you want to be if you keep blaming others for who you are now. In old age, it is important to maintain a distance between you and your children. This can be compared to a bowl of soup. If it is too close, it burns. If it is too far, it cools down. Over time, you will realize that there are people who will never change, despite many betrayals. Obsessive thoughts gnaw at the mind with the same tenacity as incurable diseases. Once they settle in the soul, they devour it, preventing you from thinking about anything else or being interested in anything more, instead of asking yourself where to go. Live your life in such a way that you do not wish to escape from it. Many people are very poor because the only thing they have is money. Wherever you go, your problems sneak into your luggage and follow you everywhere. When you love, you forgive. But if you forgive for too long, you stop loving. The easiest way to make others hate you is to start telling them the truth frequently. Until you get used to solitude, you will never know who you really are. At first, you are one person, and only later can you be considered good or bad. Every person on earth has someone destined only for them. Life will cross your paths, do not doubt it. Do not remind people that you exist. Those you truly need will never forget you. To fly high means to rise above yourself, not above others. Unlike humans, dogs never pretend to be friends. They love and bite their enemies. The person you will spend your whole life with is yourself. Love yourself. Never share your problems with your friends until you find solutions. Loneliness is one of the causes of difficulties in life. You cannot get out of difficulties alone. You will never be younger than you are today. Remember this: live, smile, make mistakes, feel, love, and admire. Things develop best for those who do their work, regardless of what awaits them at the end. Every time you are denied something good, you are redirected to something better. Stay gentle. Do not let the things that have caused you pain turn you into someone you are not. A smart person will find a way out of any complicated situation. A wise person will not find themselves in that situation. It is not scary to lose people who do not need you. It is scarier to lose yourself trying to win their love. Love does not last 3 years. Love does not last 3 days. Love lasts exactly as long as two people desire it. People always hate those who tell the truth, and that is a mistake. Those who tell the truth never stab you in the back. You can live to be 100 years old if you give up everything that makes you want to reach that age. If a person cannot keep their mouth shut, then they do not need teeth. Do not live each day as if it were your last. Live each day as if it were your first. Be capable of practicing these 5 things in any circumstance: balance, generosity of spirit, sincerity, conviction, and kindness. This way, you will know what a good life is. If opportunity does not knock at your door, build one. When you do not know what to respond in a discussion, the choice is not wide. You must accuse or ignore. If you are alone, it is not because no one cares about you. It is equal to whoever is by your side. If the question why arises, it is better to abandon that hopeless cause. Any matter becomes hopeless when the question why comes up. I used to think it was necessary to nurture friendship and good relationships, but now I understand that it is necessary to protect yourself from hypocritical people who smile in your face but hate you behind your back. It is better to have just one person by your side, but let that person be genuine. Never argue in public. Strangers should not see your weaknesses. When a wise man was asked if children should be spoiled, he replied that it should definitely be done, as one does not know what trials life has in store for them. Prepare for the betrayal of any of your acquaintances, but especially expect the betrayal of the one you trust the most. Life is too short to waste it on fights and disputes, especially in the sacred circle of family. If you always tell the truth, you do not need to remember anything. When you do not care about anything, you are happy. Even when you do not care that you are happy, you are completely free. Try to show those you love your worst sides. If they accept you as you are, it means you are not there by chance. You will never be wrong in your calculations if you only count on yourself. If there is something in life that cannot be corrected, you must learn to cope with it. That is what exists in our minds. If you do not think about it, it does not exist. You can listen to everyone, but it is not worth talking to everyone. Remember that some of the best moments of your life have yet to happen. If you long for happiness, the experienced are already content with stability. For a person to live well, they must know what they should and should not do. To know this, they need to understand what they are in this world we live in. One day, the people who did not believe in you will tell others how they met you. It is good when everything ends well, but it is even better when everything continues well. Live with the motto that everything that happens is for the better, and believe me, living will be much easier. I thank you and hope that these wise quotes with meaning help you in life, no matter what situation you face. When we start to notice the good in others, we often stop seeing the good in ourselves. It is easy to fall into the trap of self-criticism. If you feel tired, take a break. If you have been hurt, learn to respond with love and courage. Life is not always easy, but every challenge is an opportunity to grow. Remember that you should not expect anything from life. Often, it will offer you more than you imagine. While you search for the perfect person, you might overlook someone imperfect who could make you completely happy. The beauty of life lies in its imperfections. There are some golden rules that can guide you on your path. Do not go where you are not invited. Do not speak when you are not being heard. Do not help when you are not asked. And do not impose yourself where you are not wanted. If they do not value you and reject you, show patience and perseverance. That will make you stronger than many. Instead of simply enduring difficulties, choose how to face them. You will always have to decide. You can do what you want and be happy, or do what others want and end up hating them and yourself. The choice is yours.